Robots are around us and more integrated in our lives, and some of them, like the telepresent robot, could be a great help for children with health issues attending and integrate into their classroom. But also it could stimulate learning by online international collaboratives in the classroom.
Nice to meet you all. I'll give you a question and a number of situations. Your task is to talk together in English.
The idea seems great, but is it possible to introduce and use these telepresence robots in schools? That's why we have started a research group called InClass, an EU-funded project run by universities and research centres all over Europe.
So the general aims of the project are to investigate what are the obstacles that currently exist to putting robots into schools, what the problems are that occur within the classroom context. So how do the other kids respond to one person being on the telepresence robot? What is the experience for the child on the telepresence robot in the interaction with the other classmates and the teacher? Can they see the whiteboard, or how does group work? Can they move around? So like practical issues like these, plus also like where to store the robot and things like that. And then, of course, we also try to inform robot developers too.
Then turn to the left. Okay. Yeah.
The project is really important because currently many schools, especially in Denmark, say we don't have any need for it, we don't know how to use it, it's probably going to be very time-consuming, very complicated, there are many practical issues, and our job is really to help overcome all these barriers.
I couldn't participate at all. It kept on freezing, so I could hear what was going on, and I could hear people saying to me, "Oh no, you're moving." But to me, the camera was totally frozen, so I had actually no idea where I was.
You were probably in a meeting room where there's not the best internet connection.
So this team was created on the basis of a couple of researchers who had already been collaborating on similar topics. And then we added some partners from other countries into the project because they are amazing distributors, or they have the schools we can work with. So everyone contributes something different to this project.
For me, it was a very good experience because it's like my personality on the robot.
We were quite quiet, but in school youngsters are not so quiet, and if the robot has only such a sound, it's not enough, it's not sufficient.
Telepresence robots are quite new in Latvia. We can definitely benefit from this because this is something new, and this is also an opportunity to understand and to learn whether these robots can give a benefit to the learning process. So I'm really curious and really looking forward to understand what are the advantages and disadvantages.
My experience was great, actually. So we could speak, we could participate. Actually, it was the first to say something during the brainstorming. We could hear. It was a great experience. My interest is not really specifically on the technology, because we have done already many projects in which we use the technology together with education or school settings. I think it was in this case particularly interesting because we are dealing with a school with some problematic kids, with kind of low socially, active environments. And so seeing how those kids can interact with this new technology is something quite far from their normal, life.
Our research includes trying all sorts of scenarios, identifying possible obstacles perceived by teachers, principals, parents and children when they are introduced with the telepresent robot.
We also put the robot in real groups of people. We let people discuss with each other, and we observe them in the natural environment to see how people react or talk or interact with the robot, and how the person on the robot reacts or responds or also interacts. We want to actually kind of transfer the human interaction features two human-robot interaction features.
And when I said this is your future pupil in the classroom, they were a bit scared of that, because they said, no, I don't want something like this in the classroom. But it's understandable, because teachers are afraid, and not only teachers, every human is afraid of something new. But I hope that in the future they will accept this, and we will have more robots in Latvia.
When we are studying humans and interaction, there are a lot of factors to take into account. One of them is empathy. And we believe that, we had a hypothesis that if we don't feel empathy toward the robot or the person on the robot, then we cannot interact with the person on the robot as if it's a person.
So far, telepresent robots have been introduced in several countries, and the in-class group have made progressive research.
At the beginning of the project, it was very hard to contact schools and let them know that, hey, we are here to help with the telepresence robot, because there were a lot of obstacles on the way. But now, after a year and a half almost, we have a lot of solutions for those obstacles, and we have prepared a pamphlet and a report that we can just give freely to all the schools.
So usually I have to thank participants or people who let me try a robot somewhere. But in this project, the teachers, the other children, the children on the robots, they came to me and thanked me